to the Gentleman Ultras paper review with me, Richard Hall. It's been some time since we've been here talking to you because, of course, there's been no football. But is that about to change? The Italian clubs have said that potentially it looks like June the 13th may be the time that Serie A restarts. Long in the waiting, some may say, but in the current circumstances, very contentious as well. And that's certainly true in Gazzetta dello Sport, as we can see here, as the headline goes with the revolt. They're saying here that chaos in Serie A, we won't resume like this. So they're saying that most of the clubs are challenging the protocol put in place. Their players refusing to go into isolation or players' retreats, and have actually asked the medics for a legal shield. This is also followed up in the Corriere dello Sport, which also says that there's been training ground retreats and arguments, and that the quarantine idea needs to change. They've said some clubs, including the likes of Inter, Napoli, and Milan, aren't ready to start the preparation phase of collective training, and have asked for less stringent rules. Apparently here, the players too are on the warpath, saying that, is this too soon? How do they go back? And there's a lot of, should we say, confusion about this. Tuttosport also follow this up, revolts against Spadafora, we won't train like this, again quoting the likes of Fiorentina, Inter, Roma and Napoli, who are leading at the front against the government along with the Players Association. They they say to stop it in case of one positive test. They want an official date to resume, otherwise there's no training retreat going to happen for them until May the 18th. Now, what else is going on in the news other than obviously the obvious situation around coronavirus? Well, here is a story in Tuttosport. Andrea Brazzagli, the famous centre-back, of course, for Juventus, won 8 Scudetti in a row. Like Chiellini, has now left Maurizio Sarri's staff, and he's gone back to return to his family, but it says here his future is in doubt. Still paying homage to Juventus, though, in the process. Tuttosport also, they lead with the headline, Tutti in Chiesa, all in for Chiesa. Here, Inter and Juventus are supposed to be going for the Florentine winger, and ready to pay in excess of 30 million, as well as player exchanges as well. Now, Inter could lead the line in this because, of course, the likes of Perisic, Rajani Angolan, and many others, potentially the sale of Dolberg, who, of course, was on loan at Fiorentina, could go in favour of them winning that race. Interesting, because yesterday's papers talked a lot about the fact that Antonio Conte was going to ditch the idea of Federico Chiesa, or at least put him on the back foot, and focus more on Sandro Tonali and Arturo Vidal. But again, here today, it says that it looks as though Inter do have the lead in that, which is interesting coming from Tuttosport. Again, here in Gazzetta, it touches base that it looks like Inter could be in the lead for that. So, what else have we got in there? In Gazzetta dello Sport, there's been a lot over the Rossoneri's plans for having Ranić coming into Milan. Obviously here they're saying there will be a technical director and he'll bring a foreign coach with him. The idea is Nagelsmann from Leipzig. A really interesting choice if that was to go ahead. With Ranić supposed to be the sporting director with Nagelsmann, would give Milan a very interesting look. But obviously there's still a huge divide between the likes of the words yesterday from Maldini saying that Ranić needs to have more respect and stop speaking about Milan until everything is official. Potentially fair enough, you may say. Just a little bit more on Milan here. Ibrahimovic now, 2 swabs and isolation is over. The Corriere dello Sport saying the Swede has tested negative for coronavirus. He will now train with Milan and then go home like all the others. So good news for Ibra, although it does look like it may be, if this season is finished, he may not play for Milan again. We'll talk about him potentially going back to Sweden. So finally, there is in Gazzetta dello Sport a little bit of a talk here. A little bit of talk, should we say, about the Bundesliga returning, which obviously is going to be behind closed doors, and just wondering how long it will be before Italy can actually catch up with them, but it does seem as though that will be some time. So, not a huge amount of football in the papers, but we'll continue to do this and keep you up to date with everything going on now till the start of the season. So until then, it's ciao for now.